1 year after the May 20th tornado devastated Moore, Oklahoma, houses are being built, lives are being put back in order, yet the memories have not yet diminished with time. For the victims, the heartbreak and trauma can seem freshly imposed, a violent experience given new life as its anniversary brings us to remembrance.
The lasting memory for me is actually when I first came to the house, walking through all the debris and having to walk through what was part of the school and to get to the house. The sounds, the smells, something you'll never forget. The school is the thing that will stick with me the most. Just walking through there, seeing everybody over there, sifting through the rubble and looking for some people.
3 or 4 days after the tornado, I was just consumed with the death of those children at that school. We hadn't been allowed back into our house yet. It was 3 days before they would allow us back into the neighborhood, so we were kind of just had a lot of time to sit around and not much that we could do, and so that was just all-consuming for me, thinking about the children, remembering the faces of the kids and teachers in the hallway as I rushed through with my own children to get out of the school, and then just imagining what they went through. To know that your children were there 15 minutes beforehand, you know, that my daughter's teacher was so severely injured in it, and just 15 minutes before that she was sitting next to her. And that Friday, as I went to Walmart that evening to get some of the necessities that we just didn't have anymore, never thought I would be overwhelmed with shopping, but when you go into a store and you have so many things to buy all at once, it's just overwhelming. And I think that night it hit me really hard that our home was gone, at least temporarily. I've lived in Moore all my life, and I don't do well with change. You know, when something works well, I like to keep it that way. So it was very hard for me to make that change and be out of our home for that time period.
The Moore Seventh-day Adventist Church really stepped up to respond to this event. There were a number of other churches who responded initially, but then stepped back their response. But Moore initially made the decision that this was a long-term commitment on behalf of the church leadership and the church membership. And so they organized themselves very effectively. They reached out to other partners in their community that they could work with. They integrated themselves into the FEMA response and just really embraced the community very quickly.
We did things that was humanly impossible. So people were realizing that wasn't us. There's no way we could have gone 16 hours a day for 2-3 weeks straight without the power of God.
I didn't have to buy toilet paper all summer, just you know, a little thing such as that, you know, with the donations that were made for the community service at our church, you know, and Julia made sure that we had little things like that given to us, and, you know, shampoo and more toothpaste than we could possibly use, and that sort of thing was helpful. It was incredible the way people, you know, people we knew, our friends, you know, without hesitation were over here going through our things, throwing them in boxes.
They were blessed to have such a beautiful facility. They have a community center there where they were able to receive materials that could be given to those who had been impacted. It was within a mile of the path of the tornado, so it was very well placed.
There was a lot of doors looking back that were opened through our church, other churches, you know, just people volunteering to help. You know, we had numerous churches that were just going up and down the street, just offering to help clean your house out. pick up debris in your yard, do whatever needed to be done.
A lot of people were kind of taken back because they thought, and I also thought, usually ADRA, they're dealing with the worldwide event, not North American Division. So them coming in, they asked a few questions, what's our urgent needs? And they wanted to get things that we did not have or projected to get. So they were a big boost, it's like one of those booster shots you get, like, wow, we needed this.
Before the tornado, absolutely, I could see, God working through both my parents, my mother especially, and insisting that I go get my kids when I did. The rent house that was just literally handed to us the very week that we needed it. Goodness, there were just lots of things along the way that just had to have been a God thing. There's so many miracle stories that we've heard.
I think it definitely has brought us closer. We try not to take each other's time for granted and put off things like we used to.
It's all a very stressful situation, and I think that if it weren't for our faith in God and the practices that we'd already had in place in our family with prayer and family worship, that, there were times that it very easily could have torn us apart. I'm grateful that we had that faith, that we have that kind of relationship, that we've been able to work through these things together. And, we're a stronger family because of it.
More strength is shown in the love and care that its citizens have shown through great adversity. As these experiences help us grow and mature as disciples of Christ, we look forward, not to disasters, but to the ways that God is ready to help us respond as His hands and feet.